Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to IIRF Conclave on Indo-US collaboration in trade, technology, aerospace, and defense industries. May I request gentlemen and ladies present in this hall to keep their mobiles on a silent mode during our sessions. Well, it is customary in India to begin any auspicious work by lighting the lamp. Therefore, I would request our esteemed guest, former Governor of the State of Utah, United States of America, Mr. Gary Herbert, and our esteemed guest of honor today, Lieutenant General V.G. Khandare, Advisor to the Defense Minister of India, to please come forward and light the lamp, please. Please, sir. Somebody should dare to assist them in lighting the lamp. May I also request Ms. Julie Fulmer, Mayor Weingart City, Ms. Erin Faw, Vice President, Economic Development Corporation of Utah, to please kindly come forward and light the deepam, that is light. I will also request President IIRF India, Brigadier C. Sandeep VSM, is also requested to do the honor. Ladies and gentlemen, the lighting of light called the deepam in India has a great cultural significance. For the benefit of our foreign guests, let me explain that light in Indian culture symbolizes knowledge. It is a light that fights the darkness of ignorance. Therefore, Indians invoke the goddess of knowledge, Goddess Saraswati, by lighting the lamp, as if asking her to remove our ignorance through the light of knowledge. You will also notice lighting of multifaceted faced lamp by a group of people symbolizes the invocation of the spirit of cooperation in us. Need not remind you that this conclave is about sharing of knowledge and combining the spirit and entrepreneurship of the two great nations. Therefore, may Goddess Saraswati and Lord Ganesha bless our enterprising business leaders present in this conclave from both sides to succeed in their trade missions that can bring greater prosperity to our both societies. Therefore, may I now request Brigadier C. Sandeep Kumar, VSM, President IIRF, to kindly come on the podium and give his and welcome the guest. Brigadier Sandeep, sir.
Jai Hind, and welcome you all on behalf of Indus International Research Foundation. I'm not going to talk much here. I was reminded of a small thing when somebody went to inaugurate a swimming pool. So the chief guest as national used taken a big written this thing that I should speak and all those things. So when he reached there, they gave him a swimming suit and just go there. So still he carried that. And finally, when everybody was there, somebody pushed him inside, and then that was the inauguration. So I'm not going to talk much. So in any way, this is a responsibility which we have taken on, and so that I have to speak a little bit and then welcome everybody. So Indus International Research Foundation is a very young research foundation with a branch in USA. We are just about 3 years or 3.5 years old. This event was planned as a culmination of a webinar series focusing on Indian private industries, SMSCs, tech startups and Indian tech entrepreneurs to familiarize them with emerging ecosystem of public-private partnership in defense sector and evolving Indo-US cooperation in this domain. And also to improve user-manufacturer interaction in the long run. That's what's a very important thing. Our endeavor in this area will continue and would request all the entrepreneurs present here to participate and gain from networking with experts in the field. Advances in technology in the recent years is affecting the human lives and strategic thinking of nations both positively and negatively, because technology nowadays is known as disruptive technology. In the technological advancement realm, the future is of control of data and space. It's very important. It is who controls the data and who controls the space is going to control the entire domain, entire life of people, to the individual life itself. And that's where collaboration in these domains between two largest democracies of India matter. So Indo-US collaboration is an exciting and dynamic area with tremendous potential for growth and innovation. From technology and innovation to trade and investment, the potential of Indo-US collaboration is limitless. The technology is there, the technological manpower is here. Collaboration with the WTC Utah team can create new solutions to some of the world's most pressing challenges by harnessing the power of cutting-edge technology and innovation to drive progress and prosperity for both our nations in the world. By working together, we can strengthen the bonds between our two great nations. With this, the aim of the conclave is to harness the strength of the Indo-US defense and aerospace ecosystem by exploiting the power of technology and innovation. And now, with this, I would like to welcome the guest. Firstly, Governor Gary Herbert. He has come all the way just for this event, I was told by Guru Sovle. So, welcome you, sir, and it is a great privilege for us for conducting you here. And we will be honored to, please come and sit down, sir. We will be honored to listen to your words of wisdom, sir. Then we have Jonathan Friedman, CEO and President of World Trade Center, Utah. And welcome, Mr. Jonathan. It will be a great privilege to us to have you here with us. Then Mr. David Karlbach, the CEO of WTC Utah. Welcome, sir, and it's a great privilege for us to have you here. Then we have Aaron Starks, CEO and President of 47G. Welcome to you, Ms. Erin. Welcome you. We are very fortunate to have you here. Venki Medicherla, and we are happy to welcome you, sir. He's not here. Okay. We have Kiran Zakaria of Secretariat. He's on his way. Okay. We would like to welcome our guest of honor, Lieutenant General V.G. Khandare, and he has come all the way from Delhi. He is the principal advisor to the Ministry of Defense, and I know him from my academy days, and we are very happy to have him here. Thank you, sir. Air Marshal Anil Khosla, he's coming. He is also one of the speakers in one of the sessions which you are going to have. Lieutenant General Arun Sani, he is one of our advisors. We welcome you, sir. He is yet to come. Lieutenant General Anil Kapoor, ex-DGME advisor, one of the advisors with us. He is going to chair one session. Welcome you, sir. Guru Sovle, nothing, without Guru Sovle, this function wouldn't have, happened. It is all his, because we wanted to carry out a interaction with MSMEs and startups for the Indian manufacturing industry, but Guru Sovle took it to further heights of Indo-US collaboration. Thank you, Guru. Welcome. Brigadier Sandeep Sinha, he is the head of the Army Tech Node. He has been instrumental in informing about this to all the MSMEs and startups who are directly involved with the Army and the armed forces. We welcome Brigadier Sandeep Sinha also. I don't see General C.A. Krishnan is not here. He is one of our advisors. Welcome, sir. Wing Commander Benjamin. Okay. So I will not carry on with this anymore. All the other esteemed guests, we are welcoming them. And finally, but not the least, we are welcoming all the entrepreneurs who have come here. And finally, Dr. Ajay Kumar, who had the ex-defense secretary, who had promised to come here, but some because of some other commitments, he is not here, but he will be addressing you online, and we welcome him also, and we would like to hear him speaking online. And thank you very much. And
thank you, Brigadier Sandeep Kumar, sir. May I now invite Mr. Guru Prasad Solhe, President and co-founder, IIRF Americas, and international advisor for India.
Defense veterans, people who have protected both nations, United States of America and India, and it matters a lot. Today, can we all give a standing ovation to the veterans and the military community across the globe, particularly India and US? Yeah, this journey began about 6 months back when I met the Prime Minister Modi. Had the honor of being invited to meet him to discuss collaboration opportunities in the US, between India and US. And Governor Herbert, Jonathan Friedman, Derek Miller, General Kandare, Brigadier Sandeep and Group Captain Mehta, and everyone else in the audience. We had a discussion about, what is new, what will make India and US come closer, right? And aerospace and defense was one vertical that was discussed in the meeting. Another horizontal that was discussed in the meeting was MSME sector. And the Prime Minister insisted on both. He said this is where the focus should be for the Indian diaspora in the United States. And that motivated us from the think tank of Indus International Research Foundation. The reason I'm here is because of Indus International Research Foundation and, of course, World Trade Center. I also want to recognize all the board members, founding board members, both in India and the United States, of the think tank for their tremendous contributions. And a special mention to Colonel Vijay Chenji, who was instrumental, along with everyone else, to get the foundation to take off when it was just a concept on paper. He's on the way, and we hope to see him soon. And it's been a collective effort of both teams to steer the thought process and the, intelligent, navigation of policy making that we're trying to contribute to. So today, I have the honor of welcoming a fantastic delegation. We had a great time last 4 days. Thank you. They're sitting here in the first table to your right. They've been great. For many of them, it's the first time in India. Welcome, everyone. And I know I've been welcoming you several times, but this is the stage I was really looking forward to be on. And I know this is your final day of the official delegation visit. But Governor Herbert, thanks for coming all the way. Jonathan Friedman, thanks for all the support. And it's a great opportunity to collaborate with World Trade Center, and special thanks to David Carlback, who really got me enticed. And of course, I'm happy he did that. And we can been working on scripting a new paradigm for Indo-US collaboration. Special welcome to US delegation and also Indian members on the US delegation. We have some companies from Texas as well, outside Utah, but they're also looking to expand into Utah as we go forward. And as someone rightly said, objective of this conference is to forge collaboration, have meaningful conversations, and see if we can take this forward. This is just a starting point. Thank you so much, and see you soon.
Thank you, Mr. Guru Solhe. Next, we have the inaugural address by the former Defense Secretary of India, Dr. Ajay Kumar. Though he is physically not on the stage, we are privileged to have him joining us online from Delhi. And for that, I will request Governor Sir, we have an online our Defense Secretary, former Defense Secretary, behind you. So if you can just clear the view for him.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm sorry for inconvenience. We are going to call you after this. Please clear the stage. Before Dr. Ajay Kumar starts, let me say a few words about him. Dr. Ajay Kumar, you can see him on the screen. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Ajay Kumar had an illustrious career in the elite Indian Administrative Service of India. He holds a degree in engineering and doctorate in the business administration from the University of Minnesota. During his tenure as Defense Secretary, he is credited with launching the scheme of Innovation of Defense Excellence in India, popularly known as the IDEX program. This program has since been inspiring and hand-holding many innovative defense technology innovators and entrepreneurs in India today. Though not in the government anymore, he is still working hard to launch a Millennium Fund dedicated for the first time to the development of defense technology to help and support the Indian defense entrepreneurs in India as well as towards making India Atmanirbhar.
Yeah, I can hear you, yeah.
So now I invite Dr. Ajay Kumar to give his online inaugural address.
Good morning. Excellency, Mr. Gary Herbert, former governor of the state of Utah. Excellency, Ms. Janet Herbert, former First Lady of State of Utah. Lieutenant General Khandare, PVSM, AVSM, SM, Principal Defense Advisor to the Honorable Minister of Defense. Guests from Utah. Friends, I start with a small apology for not being able to join you today in Bangalore. But at your visit will lead to a new chapter in the cooperation between India and the US. In any relationship, there comes a time when it shifts from a lower gear to a higher one. Of developing this industry have tremendous opportunity to work together. If I were to go back and see how our defense and aerospace cooperation has progressed in the last 2 decades or so, it is quite remarkable. The fact is that till the signing of the General Security of Military Information Agreement in 2002, there was not much of truck between India and US as far as defense and aerospace was concerned. But since then, there has been tremendous progress. After the signing of the General Security of Military Information Agreement, this was followed up by the new framework for US-India defense relationship in 2005. And this opened doors for US defense technology to be made available for Indian defense needs. An important milestone between India and the US was the US-India Civil Nuclear Agreement, which is also called the 123 Agreement, which was signed in 2008, and that opened new opportunities in nuclear technologies. Subsequently, India also signed the Wassenaar Agreement. In 2011, the Memorandum for Greater Cooperation in Cybersecurity was signed. And in 2012, the Defense Trade and Technology Initiative, DTTI, was signed. In 2016, India was recognized as a major defense partner by the US. You see how quickly and at a fast pace there was progress since 2002. In 2018, the US renamed its Pacific Command as the Indo-Pacific Command, respecting Indian concerns. Again in 2018, the Communication Compatibility and Security Agreement was signed, enabling secure and interoperable data sharing between the two countries. Thereafter, the Industry Security Annex was signed in 2019. And a prominent part of this relationship was the foreign military sales of high-tech military equipment by US to India. Over 20 billion worth of military sales were made by US to India, and this includes the M777s, 155mm lightweight towed howitzers, Apache attack helicopter, Chinook heavy light helicopter, C-130Js, and most recently the MQ-9s. All these agreements have also to be seen, and the growth of India-US relationship has to be seen in the context of current times. In the current times, show a marked distrust between the US and China, and a wave of innovation sweeping India. Early examples of this were through IDEX, Innovation for Defense Excellence, which was launched in India in 2018, and also during the COVID time innovations. I recall when I was Defense Secretary, the US Air Force Research Lab approached the Ministry of Defense expressing interest to collaborate with an Indian IDEX startup. For Indian defense, which was only used to seeking technology from foreign firms, this was unbelievable. Similarly, the development of vaccines, drugs, ventilators, diagnostic kits during the pandemic, which served not only the massive Indian needs, but over 100 countries across the globe were example of the innovation which India was able to create in a very short period of time. India's digital public infrastructure, including Aadhaar, DigiLocker, is an example of both sides recognizing the need to work together. And underlying the current cooperation is the common belief and shared values of democracy and free and open technology ecosystem for the betterment of humankind. Excellencies, ISET combined with IndusX will foster collaboration between the technology ecosystems in the two countries in the fields of science, defense, semiconductor, space,
to all those who've made this day possible. That doesn't just happen overnight, and we're honored to be here in India and Bangalore. And association with you, I think, is going to become more and more important to Utah, and hopefully important. But again, we've enjoyed our delegation to spend some time. We have a couple more days for some. I'm going to have to leave today to get back to assignments in Utah. But we are honored to be here, and again, I'm just thinking of how far we've traveled. We did a little Googling up. It's a little over 8,000 miles from Utah to here in Bangalore. And that's in a long distance. But today's modern travel makes it a little shorter, but it takes us basically a day to get here and a day to get back. But on that great distance, the most important distance of all is the final 4 feet, where we get to meet with you, learn from you, have camaraderie and opportunities to work on different projects together. And that's what this conclave is designed to help us open doors, and as just was mentioned, maybe a new chapter of opportunity for us to get together and serve with each other. Let me just mention a couple of things that I think are important for us all to understand and appreciate, and we've learned it in Utah. I came in as governor at the depths of the Great Recession, which for Utah and for most of America was the worst economic times we've had since the Great Depression of the 1930s. And so the question is, what do you do when your economy is down and you want it to be up? When people are out of work, how do you get them jobs and provide opportunity for them to live the dream they have of having a place to live with their families, to have quality time, opportunity to pay your bills and make a living for yourself and your family? That was a big challenge we faced when I came into office. And I can tell you that the first thing we did, I hired Derek Miller, who's my chief of staff, who's here with us today, and now runs the Salt Lake Chamber of Commerce, which is the capital of Utah, Salt Lake, and covers really the whole state. We recognize how important it is to have business to be successful. If you want to have jobs and job opportunity, we have to have business being successful. And so we try to emphasize having small business. As I've traveled around your country here the last week, I see a lot of small businesses out there trying to find ways to expand in the marketplace. And you can't be a big business if you're not first a small business. So part of our goal in Utah at the difficult time was to say, what do we want to accomplish and how do we want to get it done? It's a phrase we use from one of our famous people from Utah, a guy named Steve Covey, who gives lectures and taught businesses how to succeed. He said, when you set your goals, start with the end in mind. What will look like success to you? What do you want to achieve? Start with the end in mind. Then working backwards, you set your goals and your steps of what you want to take in order to achieve that end goal. And I'm a believer in goals. I'm a believer in taking a look at what can be done to improve the economic environment. And I learned it from my father. My father was a farmer. I know how important farming is in agriculture here in India. What's important in Utah and in the United States too is a place to get your food, and everything kind of comes from the ground, from the land. So a great reverence for the land and how we are stewards of the earth. But my father, when we lived in the city of Orem, which is still my hometown, and he had a great big garden, about 2 acres of garden, and he had a tremendous, very fertile environment for the business entrepreneur. And so we made sure we did not have high taxes. We actually cut taxes. We wanted to make sure that our business regulations made sense. We're not opposed to regulations. They're necessary for law. They're necessary to keep a fair level playing field for each of us. We don't have the bad guys come and take away what we already have and what we've earned. But we want to have something that provides the business community with stability and predictability. When you invest, we want you to know what it's going to be like today, but we're just supporting what's going to be like in a year, 5 years, or 10 years down the road without any kind of a surprise. That attracts capital that wants to invest in a place that they know that they're welcome. So we've done that very well, and consequently our goal that we set was to become the best performing economy in America. And America's doing well, but the number one economy in America today is found in Utah. We're the most healthy, we're the most diverse economy there is in America. Part of our learning is we put together a plan of what can we do to come out of the recession and have a healthy economy for all people to participate in, was to look at what our strengths were. We're a unique state, unique landscape. We have high Rocky Mountains, snow-capped mountains, best snow on earth, we say, great skiing. We're going to host the Olympics again, the Winter Olympics in 2034. We did it in 2002. But we also have some red rock country and some desert areas and just a variety of landscapes. And so we said, what are some of the strengths we have as a state to grow the economy? Our sectors of energy are growing dramatically, our high-tech industry, our manufacturing, our agriculture, aerospace, things that you know about. We have great sectors growing. And what's been good about diversification is we don't have all of our economic eggs in one basket. So if one's up, one sector's up, another one might be down. We don't have a total collapse of the economy because we've diversified so greatly. One of the things that we have as a natural asset is that we speak in Utah 130 languages. We are the most bilingual place probably in the world. A lot of that's because of the Mormon missionary program, where we have missionaries go out. You've got a temple being constructed here down the road. But the missionaries go out and serve 2 years to serve people around the world. They live there for 2 years. They learn the culture. They learn the language. And they come home loving the people. That's part of the international opportunity that we all have, is to have international trade with each other. And guess what happens? As you do that, not only you benefit economically, but you benefit on a personal level of meeting new people and making new friends. I'm certainly not an isolationist. I believe that we need to have international trade, not only for the mutual benefit of economics, but for the personal relationships we develop. It's a lot easier to do business with friends than it is with enemies. And in doing so, we bring stability, we bring peace and camaraderie with different countries as we travel around the world. So I'm a big believer in international trade, and I think we have great opportunities to improve our international trade here in India. I'll just finish up by saying a couple of things. One, as I've traveled, and this is my first trip to India, certainly know about India, but this is my first time to be here. I'm struck by a number of things. One, you have a democracy. You're the largest democracy in the world. You have 1.4 plus billion people, which makes you a player anywhere in the world. By sheer numbers, you have opportunities to do good things, maybe great things. I like the democracy, which brings freedom, which provides opportunity for you to be the best you can be in a free market. And again, government has a role to play. We try to keep government limited. The phrase we used, Derek and I, was we want to keep government off your backs and out of your wallets. So we want government that's effective and efficient and doesn't get in the way of the business entrepreneur being able to do and provide goods and services that they make a profit on. Regulation sometimes can get in the way. It's like weeds in a ditch bank. It clogs up commerce. And so we've gone through a complete revamping of our regulations in the state of Utah on 2 occasions on my watch as governor to take and find out what regulations should be removed, what ones do we need to keep, but what are impacting business and what or maybe is an overreach by government. The marketplace has a kind of invisible hand that finds niches in the marketplace for goods and services to be developed. The government has more of a rigid hand that sometimes does not always place it in the right place. So again, we've gone through it. We've made sure that in Utah we don't spend more money than we take in. We balance budgets. We have a reduction of taxes and business regulations. We save for a rainy day. We don't run any kind of deficit or debt. And so if we have a difficult time, we have money in the bank, like a savings account, to help us get through those rough stretches in the road. It's worked very good for us. And just by way in passing, we have a significant and dynamic and growing Indian population in the state of Utah. Very good people like I've seen here in India that are now living in Utah. Entrepreneurs, scientists, engineers, teachers, professors, doctors, very learned people that are certainly achieving way beyond the average of Utah because of their good work ethic and their good principles and values which they share with us. When I was governor of the mansion, we celebrated Diwali every year. The Festival of the Lights, I mentioned the lights was the lighting ceremony we did here today, is again a good metaphor for us to work together to share light. We can learn from you, hopefully you can learn something from us, and together we can improve opportunities for the people that we represent. The economy and the quality of life will improve. You're family-oriented, you're industrious people. Again, those are the things we see as a great opportunity for us to work with you as we go into the future. So as the gentleman mentioned on the video, it's a new chapter. I think we have a new beginning, a new opportunity for us to, in fact, to work together. And I know I'm speaking on behalf also of the current governor, Spencer Cox, who was my lieutenant governor when I was governor, who could not make it here. Our legislature's in the final week of its session, so we needed to be there to kind of keep them in line. But I'm sure he'll be coming over with another delegation. So we like what we find here in India, a great country with great and wonderful people, great possibilities and opportunity for all of us to work together. We want to be a part of your future. We're here to open doors and make contacts and relationships. We want to be a part of your future. But we'd like you to be a part of Utah's future too. And so we'll see if we can find those ways we can have mutual benefits for both sides, for Utah and for India. We thank you so much for the invitation to come here and speak and be part of you. We look forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much.
No, sir. You gave a very, very inspirational talk, and you talked about cooperation and future. We really look forward to it. I will now like to invite our guest of honor, Lieutenant General Vinod Khandare, and request him to deliver the keynote address. Lieutenant General Khandare is an illustrious general of Indian Army with vast experience in civil military affairs. Though retired from Army 3 years back, he still holds the appointment of the principal advisor to the Honorable Minister of Defense in the current government of India. His resume is very long, but I am sorry, sir, I will cut it short because of the shortage of time, and I will request you to come and give your keynote address, sir. Thank you, sir.
Jai Hind, and a very good morning to our guests from abroad. Normally we have always a good morning, and Bangalore is specifically known for good mornings. So we normally remind ourselves of what is our national vision, and that is what is Jai Hind. Just for your interest's sake, in Hindi or in Sanskrit, Jai is victory and Hind is India. So we normally speak of victory to India, and that is the vision which is shared right from the top, that is from the Prime Minister, right down to a citizen. When we talk of victory, it should be understood in comprehensive terms that victory is in every field, whether it is your living standards, whether it is the contests and conflicts which happen in every possible domain of your living, whether it is economy, agriculture, industry, trade. And to that extent, this particular event IIRF has hosted is particularly important because when you talk of trade technology development, trade is not restricted only to the defense sector, and trade goes all across in every particular sector. The recent concerns have been, if I were to granularize them, it would look at the current state of geopolitical and geoeconomic order. We are talking of conflict, contest, cooperate and create. Conflicts will possibly never go away, although it is a dream, but conflicts may not go away. If kinetic conflicts do reduce, but conflicts like COVID will always create problems and be disruptive. And that is where, when we talk of technology, I normally replace the word disruptive technology to empowering technology. I think what we all need to do is to embrace the empowering technologies. And when it is contest, now contest comes to a stage where interests possibly are clashing or overlapping, and that is where we all need to look at our national interests, and that is where a lot of maturity is required among the global players. There are accusations, there are embracings, but finally it is the national interest which will bring out strategic partnerships, alliances, meetings, joint working groups. So that kind of contest is most prominent today here. And one of the things which we want to look at to go to the next stage is to bring in a lot of self-reliance, and that is where we talk about the Atmanirbhar Bharat mission, and that is where we are talking of self-reliance. Now, self-reliance is a positive connotation to get stable, to prevent kind of leveraging by our adversaries. There are identified adversaries, there are potential adversaries. So for a nation of our size, we definitely need to be in a more advanced stage of self-reliance than what we were so far. The same cycle has been seen in different parts of the world. Going closer to what we have in Asia, where China was somewhere in 1972-73, where the American government reached out and helped China to reach a particular level of self-reliance, self-sufficiency. I think today India is in that sweet spot. Anybody in the world collaborating with India or cooperating with India will be able to create relationships. So that is where the 4 C's, and I am particularly emphasizing the creation part for the people in this hall, that you are creating relationship to ensure that both our democracies are able to possibly bring out better existence conditions for humanity. So this is a particular call for the entire humanity to create sustainable growth, sustainable development, and at the same time look at the new challenges. And new challenges are again coming out in different ways. People talk of new wars, people talk of new challenges, and that is where, whether adversary or not, the challenges are going to be common, whether it is climate change, whether it is the issue of social welfare, whether it is economic growth. India essentially has been looking at 2 pillars in that, the growth or the development and security. And we cannot neglect both of them. So that is where our cooperation will bring out a lot of things here. The government of India particularly embarked on this mission, and it is to be understood comprehensively that we seek assistance, we seek cooperation from countries which have a higher technological benchmark. We want to cooperate with you where technology, niche technology comes from outside, and we don't stop at niche technology. We look at the incubating technology also, which is in your research and development sector. And that is what we would need, and along with that, to absorb that level of technology, we would need the skill sets. And that is one more area which this foundation can look at. So when I'm looking at a foundation of the caliber and the commitment of IIRF, this is the difference between a think tank and a foundation. The foundation will be able to generate policy papers and study reports which can be sent to the government, and I would say both the governments, so that there is a thought process and an attitudinal shift commensurate to the change management that we look at. And why do we need a change management is for ensuring conflict prevention. So these 4 C's which I connected, there is a very important role which IIRF has to play, and with the help of the excellencies off stage who have traveled half the globe across, I think this can be a very positive growth. Has the government of India taken measures to make it happen? Of course, you heard Dr. Ajay Kumar, and you heard him give out the various benchmarks, the milestones that we have covered. Between India and USA, we've had foundational agreements, And the foundational agreements were the most difficult agreements to arrive at because of attitudinal issues of somebody suspecting somebody. And we've been able to achieve these foundational agreements, whether this is LIMOA, SISMOA or BECA. And let me flag a point here that when we were going through BECA, that was the most difficult period because COVID had just set in. But despite that, both the teams were able to come to a consensus, and that is, since then there has been no looking back. Specifically, the Ministry of Defense has worked quite hard towards this, and when the presence and the contribution of the veterans was realized in a very befitting manner today, my gratitude for that on behalf of all the veterans who are sitting here. Alongside the veterans, there are people in this hall who have contributed a lot to self-reliance. Let me acknowledge the presence of one young mind here. Vish, are you here? Yeah. It always happens like that. Anyway, Vish is one more person who was in the same team where we were able to chalk out how to bring changes in the Ministry of Defense Affairs related to IDEX, related to various issues. Now he's moved out of that place, but I wanted to acknowledge the role played by Dr. Ajay Kumar and his team. When Brigadier Sandeep mentioned what are the challenges that we look at for the future, he mentioned two very vital issues about data and about space. These two are important, and there are others also, like cyber is another one, the maritime domain awareness is another one. So we look at our friends from abroad that you need to identify these challenges. The foundation here will help you to put your finger on exactly what the ask is from the Indian side. And while the direction has been very clearly given by the Government of India, such ideating sessions and foundations have to bring in momentum so that the change is done faster. Why is that change required faster? When in this era of competition and conflicts and contests, it is either the adversary who will reach the finishing line faster, or we have to reach that faster. If there is a technological and an economic gap between USA and its adversaries, and same is the case with India and its adversaries, jointly we can ensure that the revisionist attitude is not going to create chaos and disharmony in the world. So that is the reason the collaboration and cooperation has to be much faster than what we are seeing. Is the ground ready for that? The younger generation definitely is ready for that. And what is most encouraging here in this hall is we see the veterans who are basically the mentors, who are enthusiastic, who are committed, who have caliber, who have experience. And you look at the youngsters who are in this hall, who are full of passion, who dream of a great India, who dream of a great world. So that is where whole of humanity has to come together and work together. There is another reason why we want to speed up. We have a young population. We are very clear in our mind that this young population has to get rich and strong before they get old. So that is the reason why we have to compress this timeline. You're coming from across half the globe across, and coming and sitting here is indicative of your commitment and indicative of the kind of bonhomie that you have already established. It's only a question of how to speed up. There are various domains which we will possibly be discussing during the later sessions of the day, and I want to apologize to the organizers that I will not be able to sit through the entire event, but I'm sure I will get a feedback of the proceedings that happen, and I'm sure we all will take it further. Very recently, we've had many indicators of how fast India and US are collaborating together. The US IBC event, which was held in Delhi, was another place where we were able to share together in an open forum as well as in a closed door forum, and I'm privy to whatever we have done there. India as a country is already taking a lead towards making everyone work together, whether it is a G20 forum, whether it is the Raisina dialogue. So I think these events also announce what the intent of India is. When we are looking at the changing world order, and many people say it is a total disorder. So if it is a disorder, then collaboration, cooperation will ensure that we all are able to put it back into order. So that is the long and short of what I had to say. I wish the event a grand success. My thanks to Brigadier Sandeep for getting me here for whatever time that I had. And we've known each other from 1979. And just to correct, I retired 6 years back. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, General Khandare, sir. For your information, sir, we got a very overwhelming response for this conclave from not only the veterans that you have talked about, but at least 50 energetic young entrepreneurs from around 15 to 20 companies. They got registered and they are eagerly waiting to interact, sir. So it is very heartening that we are not just talking about policies, but we have the boots on the ground. And all these people are the future of India, and we look forward. And now I